Okay, so I'm going to be reacting to the Mr. Beast response video. It's 2 hours long, so I'm just going to be like clicking on all these things so we can get to the main points. This video is probably going to be a little bit long, but...
Why were you so silent? Especially off the bat, like you did respond to the Ava Tyson stuff immediately, but like, you know, right after that, a bunch of other stuff came out and Dawson's video, his first video, gained a bunch of traction. What was your reasoning for being so silent immediately?
Yeah, that's a great question to kick it off on. You actually kind of laid out the timeline there. The Ava stuff came out, and I put out that tweet. We hired the investigators to go look into it, and part of that investigation is they recommended that I not talk about drama or really do anything online because it might.
Okay, so basically they just told him to not talk about it, which he regrets.
Videos with tens of millions of views collectively, you know, claiming I called a guy Delaware because he committed a crime in Delaware. Like, you know, that is not true. His name was just Delaware. I didn't, you know, call him Delaware to make fun of him or anything. And, I'm sure you're going to ask him about it later, but there's literally, he was in a video before I hired him working at Best Buy wearing a name tag that said Delaware. And like, that was public information. And like, you know, anyone could have saw that. Even during when that was like getting shared a lot a couple months ago, I even sent that to a couple of YouTubers. I was like, hey, just so you know, like, I didn't call him Delaware because of this messed up thing. Like, that was just his name, and here's proof. And I guess I probably shouldn't say the name of the creators, but one of them literally just said to me, like, well, it's not really cool to like you or defend you right now, so I don't really care whether or not it's true, or I don't want to take the video down because then people are going to think I'm controlled opposition. I was like, whoa. And then also, like, that same photo. Okay,
that's kind of crazy, bro. I just didn't take it down because that's like the main attraction. Like, everybody hates Mr. Beast, so that's why they didn't take it down. It's kind of stupid. But, yeah, he called them Delaware because that was literally their name tag, so, okay, that makes sense.
The big thing on the internet, on Twitter specifically, was that you found yourself to be innocent. Of course, you paid a law firm to find yourself innocent.
I saw those memes, yeah.
There's the big meme. How would you respond to the allegation that the investigation was biased from the start?
Yeah. First off, to just set the foundation, I think a lot of people are saying, oh, of course, Jimmy did an internal investigation, found himself, they didn't find any wrongdoing, which is also not true, which I assume we'll go into that more later. They did find some wrongdoing, just not in regards to like the serious Ava allegation. So that's a, false truth. And then on top of that, it wasn't an internal investigation. It was an external investigation, which was clearly laid out in the things we showed.
Yeah, a third-party investigation.
Yeah, exactly. And so, it is a little bit of a, like, a lot of people I saw were saying like, well, you paid them. And it's like, well, yeah, top tier lawyers and federal prosecutors.
Okay, so they still investigated him either way, so it's not really biased, is what he's saying pretty much.
So there have been a lot of questions about your workplace culture, such as a lack of diversity or also HR problems.
Yeah.
What, if anything, have you done to address these concerns? How have you handled it since information came out, and how do you plan on handling it in the future?
Okay, so we'll start with the diversity one. If I forget the HR one, just bring it up when I finish that one. Diversity, I have seen a lot of people mention that about our company, which, that one's just not even true. Like, Feastables, for example, a couple months old, but like almost 70% of our company is women. We actually, because we do dub studios around the world, now zooming out of Feastables over to content, we actually have pretty crazy amount of diversity in our company. So, we have 400 people that work for me. It's not just me and the boys on the camera, which is the 5 you see. So that one.
Okay, so basically that was just all a lie, and people were just making up lies that he didn't have any like women or stuff. Okay, so I'm actually filming this part like a little bit later because of Thanksgiving stuff. So let's go ahead and finish this video off right here.
Your mom was previously head of your HR department. And some people have criticized that as a conflict of interest. Did you personally, at the time, even consider that? Mm-hmm. And do you now also acknowledge that that is a conflict of interest?
Oh, I agree. That's a dumb thing to do.
Yeah.
I do think context matters, though, because this is where a lot of these things that I assume we're going to talk about is like people conflate current Mr. Beast with 400 employees and spending hundreds of millions of dollars a year with Mr. Beast when he's a teenager and starting. When I first started hiring people, it was like, oh, we went to high school together. You want to help me make videos? And I hired a couple of my friends from high school. So, and then I was like, how do I do taxes and this kind of stuff? And I was like, Mom, help. And so,
Okay, so basically he was just like confused, so he just asked his mom to help him because he was just starting off YouTube, so he didn't really know much, so he just asked his mom for help.
There have been claims that you use some CGI in your videos, that is computer-generated imagery. Do you think the use of CGI can undermine the credibility or authenticity of the content that you're making? And if so, why do you choose to use it?
Good question. And yes, I do think rampant use of CGI can undermine it. And I try to do my best to be transparent. Did you ever see So Crispy's video where they showed the behind the scenes of our Squid Game video?
I did, yes.
Yeah, so we've done that. We've done lots of BTS videos on them, and we've done other BTS videos. So I try to show it transparently, but let me think about it. I mean, honestly, the truth is, like, obviously there are channels like Corridor Digital and stuff like that, but can you really think of any, like, entertainment channels like mine that really do this, like even have the budgets to kind of do this kind of stuff? It's something I've always thought a lot about, because like we're really pushing boundaries, and like I want to like keep leveling things up, and I think that's a cool way to do it. But it's not like there's some like playbook on how to like incorporate it, right? Because no one else really does it. Mm-hmm. Like something I was thinking about is like also we rarely use it. Like, I mean, maybe like 0.1% of my shots. Like if we have like a background that like doesn't look too cool, like it's just like black but it looks a little off, we'll just like darken it out in post. Like that's like majority of what we do, or sometimes we'll extend a set.
Okay, so basically he's saying that he barely even uses it, and he just, even if he does, it's just like small little things.
There was an allegation that you use CGI to create the impression that you guys built a hospital, part of a hospital, in order to deceive viewers or manipulate them into believing that you did more than you actually did.
Yeah.
Tell us about that.
Yeah, no, that's a great one. Honestly, truthful, dumb mistake. At the start of one of our Beast Philanthropy videos, they were trying to show what this like building looked like in the past, and in the past that hospital wasn't there, so they removed it in the editing. Which and this is just like a small part of this isn't even like the point of the video was that we built this hospital or whatever. There was just a shot at the beginning, but some people saw that and like thought we did build it, which is not the intention. And so it's just a dumb mistake. Like, trust me, when I saw that, I talked to the editors. I was like, come on, like, I have 100 editors, and obviously we have a bunch of different channels and things like that, so it's hard for me to like speak with all of them. But it was just truthfully a silly mistake.
Okay, so apparently that was literally just a mistake, but like it literally does look like you built that hospital yourself. So I mean, but at least he admits that that was a mistake.
There's evidence that you put your previous employees, friends, whatever, controlled opposition in your challenge videos, such as the 100 boys versus 100 girls video.
Yeah.
Did you put them in that video or videos like that specifically to rig the outcome
of the challenge?
The challenge? And if so, do you think that's acceptable, Mr. Beast?
I know. That one was a big one. Videos talking about my 100 boys versus 100 girls video in the last couple months. That one, people really talked about that one. So yes, Sagi's video, he talked about this and uncovered it. I'm surprised more people didn't. Like, my girlfriend after that video literally went on a podcast and described this, so it's not even like this was hidden information. This has been out there.
You were in the video 100 girls versus 100 boys for $500,000.
Yes. On the day, everybody had to go for COVID tests, and a lot of people came, got their COVID tests, and they tested positive. And the girls somehow ended up with way too little contestants. So I got a call randomly from the studio, and they're like, we need a female. I'm like, well, I am a female. I guess I could do this 100-hour challenge.
Were you dating at the time?
Yes.
And did the others know you were dating Mr. Beast at the time?
They pretended that they didn't, but I think some of them caught on.
Did he like move to the side of the circle and just check up on
you?
you?
He avoided eye contact at all costs.
But I mean, literally, like she said on the podcast, we had 100 boys, 100 girls. They're competing in a video. Leading up to the video, they're supposed to quarantine. This was years ago when, at the height of COVID.
Okay, so like basically lots of girls had COVID, so they lost a lot of girls, and there was like barely any. So they had to bring in some employees for some reason, which like, I mean, couldn't you just like find random people, like, honestly?
Yeah, he has criticized you today and last night, I think, to sort of timestamp when this video is being recorded so people know. He said, Soggy's criticized you sharing his video with other YouTubers as a way to shield yourself from criticism, like deeming the video to people. He also expressed feeling used by you, given that you used his video as a strategy to gather favor from the public, which, that's pretty wordy. It's like it just happened today. It's got to be something like, how do you feel about him feeling that way? Because he's not really defending you. He's more so trying to hold light to truth, which I appreciate that massively. And I do, talking to him, I do believe that he is an honest guy. How do you interpret his responses on Twitter if you've seen them? Have you seen them?
Yeah, I've seen them. I interpret as him just trying to be honest with his audience and just expressing how he feels. And I think, obviously he probably, in his head, if he was even being more honest, he'd probably be like, Jimmy, why don't you just say these things? Why am I saying it? And I think, obviously, now that I'm here and doing this, that will alleviate it. But I could see how it feels. Like, obviously, I saw that video and it, disproved. I mean, there are some things in there I don't agree with, and he does go pretty hard on me, so which people seem to forget. But there are a lot of things in there that he disproved, and I got excited and shot it over to a bunch of creators who covered the false information, and was just like, look, I could see how that looks like I'm hiding behind it. Luckily, I'm here talking to you, so I don't.
Okay, so basically he was just like sending it to them, like not really thinking much of it. He's like, look, well, this person's standing up for me, so I mean, I get that. I mean, you just have something, but he didn't really mean it to go off like that.
So Dawson claimed that you ran multiple illegal lotteries, and in Soggy's video, he sort of, I think, disproved 2.
Yes.
And then 1 he still believes was an illegal lottery.
Yes.
Do you believe that you ran an illegal lottery? Did you believe at the time? What was your mindset? Did you check with the FCC? Was there any compliance, any steps taken to prevent this? What is your just perspective on that?
Yes. So I don't think we did. I have people looking into it and like trying to pull the footage and figure it out. He disproved the 2, which I mean, those were crazy. I don't want to just like speculate. I have a team looking into it. I don't think we did though. But regardless, just to be truthful, if people want a refund or think for whatever reason, like we did something wrong, like I'll send you a link that you can just put in the description where they can get a refund. Maybe you just throw it on the screen here.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, at the moment, that's all I really have to say. Maybe I could do a follow-up in the future. I'm trying to, dig up all the...
Okay, so basically, he's saying that he'll give them refunds, which is actually pretty good. This situation is good. He doesn't think that he ran illegal lotteries. Well, that's up to him. I mean, he said that they're checking it out, but...
The third-party investigation confirmed isolated incidents of harassment. How were these incidents addressed? And what systemic changes did you implement from after the investigation to prevent things like this from ever happening again? I'm assuming it's going to piggyback directly off the
what we
HR
talked about before. Yeah, 100%. I mean, agreed. Like we talked about before, I have hundreds of employees, and when we brought the outside third party in, and I was like, hey, talk to whoever you need to, get an honest pulse of how some people are feeling. There were some things that people hadn't made us aware of that they felt more comfortable talking to Quinn and Manuel on, which is obviously ultimately why we ended up doing the anonymous hotline and that kind of stuff. And what you asked, what did we do? How do we handle it? Like I said before, it's just whatever they told me. If they told me like I need to fire someone, we fired them. Like I mean, it's not like I don't want to be the arbiter of truth. I want people who are professional in these things to get the information, make sure they have all the facts, and I want them to tell me what to do, right? Because obviously I work with these people, and so I could have some form of bias or whatever, or maybe I like this person better, and so I like to stay away from that kind of stuff. And so I just did whatever they told me to do, to be honest.
Okay, so basically he just did whatever the professionals told him to do, which I mean, I see how that is, because like he doesn't want it to like seem biased or anything, because he likes people more. So he got professionals to tell him what to do, and so he's like, all right, I'll do it. So that makes sense.
Are you going to sue DogPack?
Well, there's tons of examples of him intentionally manipulating things to not be true and posting it online. Tons and tons and tons of that. Soggy has basically an hour and 27-minute video, and an hour of it is just flat out proving manipulation and lies, and caused a lot of harm to my businesses. I mean, I've literally had people pull out millions of dollars and then tell me it was directly because of his video. And don't worry, I instantly was like, can you send that in writing? So, you know, if I win a case or anything, I can directly point damages. No reason why. And so, I mean, it's just unfortunate. Like, I don't want to be put in this situation, but probably gonna have to. I mean, it's just. I mean, what do you do if someone's just spreading misinformation about you and, you know, just causing harm to your business? And
Okay, so basically what he's saying is that he probably is gonna sue DogPack, because like, well, he's creating lies apparently about Mr. Beast. I don't really know much about that, but yeah, he's creating lies from what Mr. Beast is saying. So, I mean, I understand that completely. Don't let them just create lies about you for no reason.
There was a comprehensive report published that painted a negative light on crypto dealings allegedly associated with you. To what extent were you involved in these crypto transactions, and how do you respond to CoffeeZilla's video on you detailing these allegations? I thought he gave you a benefit of the doubt in that video.
Yeah.
I think he's a very reasonable guy, to be honest. I think he's a very smart, reasonable guy who cares about like doing the right thing, which is pretty rare on YouTube. Mm-hmm. You know, how would you respond to Coffee's video?
yeah, Coffee's video and the report. Well, so I'll start off with the report. I mean, most people probably haven't even read it, but that's what kind of spawned that whole thing. Was this? Did you see it? Like that? Yeah. So the gist of this crypto report that was. 1 second. Sorry, it's not my. The gist of this report was Jimmy is too stupid to like make this kind of money, therefore it must be insider trading. This is his wallet. You know, clearly there was insider trading because he never would have been able to make this kind of money. When in reality, which is what I told Coffee in that statement we gave him, it was managed by a fund. So I wasn't the one managing the wallet. You know, I've never had access to that wallet. I've never done the buying and selling on that wallet. There's a actual professional who's written books on crypto and lived and breathes crypto every second of the day managing it. So most of the allegations there like are just answered by like, I am too stupid to do that. That's why a fund was managing it. You know what I mean? And yeah, I mean, like Coffee said, like if he literally said this in a video. If you like Jimmy, then you're like, yeah, he has answers for everything and just checks out. And if you don't like Jimmy, then you're going to go, you know, there's obviously.
Okay, so it was basically saying that there was somebody else running it. It was a professional running it, so he had no access to it, basically. So he's just saying it's not really his fault because a professional was running it.
How do you intend on regaining trust between that brand that is literally a vehicle for philanthropy?
Yeah.
And how do you intend on regaining trust with the brands to put money to that to generate revenue to use for?
Yeah. I mean, I hope step one is literally this video. I mean, I hope like I just need people to just stop making videos titled "Mr. Beast fakes his philanthropy" with devil horns on and the thumbnail on my head, and like you know just stating facts that aren't facts, like because like as long as people are just spreading that disinformation, I mean it's gonna be pretty hard to convince these people, but hopefully once that dies down, I think it's just more of a time thing, because it'd be nice, like because the charity definitely needs that whole like disinformation thing to kind of just stop. Like I spend $150,000 a month. Like, so I pay for the employee's salary. So all the revenue from the videos goes straight towards doing our project. So I cover all this employees, a little bit of overhead, that kind of stuff. So that way, if we get like a $400,000 brand deal plus the ad revenue from the video, we can like spend all that money on like, you know, buying shirts for, you know, homeless people or whatever it is. So I put that money in, but this like, this past week when we also put the $150,000 in the account, I had to put another $1 million in to make up for like 2 lost brand deals. So I'm like now having to like plow money in on top of the, you know, $150,000 a month I'm already plowing in, on top of filming the videos and doing all that. And it's just, it's just brutal, to be honest, because I can't do that forever. So, because I'm already putting a lot of money into it. And so, yeah, hopefully, I don't know the answer. I don't have a crystal ball, but hopefully like people just kind of stop slandering. You can attack me, just don't attack the channel that's literally a 501c3. Like that'd be nice, to be honest.
Okay, so he's saying that people were basically just like lying about all of it, and that he did pay everybody. So, I mean, whatever.
DogPack actually cut a part out of his first video about you being the Antichrist. Did you see that?
I did.
What'd you think of that? I mean, you did get here a little fast, to be honest. You teleported.
The sad part is he was being serious in it, and
yeah, he cut that part out,
and that he showed that part publicly, and people still were like, "Okay, well, Kim saying Jimmy's the Antichrist because one of his studios was a church, because there's not many warehouses in North Carolina, so I just bought a church and converted it into a warehouse." And like he unironically was claiming I was the Antichrist in the same video as all these other accusations, but everyone's like, "Oh, that's the only crazy accusation. Everything else is true." When I saw that, I was like, "Okay, now people are gonna like be like, okay, maybe he's just, but didn't change anything."
I mean, yeah, does it like bother you? Did that bother you specifically, or is it just? I mean, because like, how do you even? I'm
not the Antichrist. I mean, where's the Bible?
Yeah,
I'm not the Antichrist. There you go.
Yeah, that's really interesting. I kind of thought you might be. It is a weird one, because I've heard people say that in my real life. They're like, his name is. We live out here in the sticks.
Yeah.
All right, and they're like.
Okay, so basically, he's just like, DogPack was just like lying about that, basically. And Jimmy, he just bought like a church to make it into a studio. It's kind of a crazy accusation. Don't understand why he made that. But anyways.
Fans feel like there is a fine line between philanthropy and using vulnerable people for content. How do you feel about people who think that your videos unintentionally exploit vulnerable people for entertainment? So I think that's a very valid concern that people have. And I think this is one that's going to be hard to kind of explain, because people are going to just be like, well, just be rich guy and donate all your money, and you have more money than me, therefore you have to donate it, or I can criticize you. Like that. It's a really hard argument to win, I guess. But if you had to explain that, or what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah. Honestly, that would be an easier one to take video by video, because obviously that is something I'm very cognizant of, and I don't want to take advantage of people or use people, but I mean, one video I'm burying myself alive, the next video we're flying, like comparing it, the world's cheapest plane ticket, the most expensive, the other we're helping 1,000 people see, the other we're putting 100 people in a circle. They're just so different, right? The answer to that for helping 1,000 people see again would be completely different than the answer for when I put 100 people in a circle or whatever. So as a blanket one, I'm not 100% sure how to like just blanketly answer it. Besides, like, that is something I'm very aware of, and like we try to pick people who don't really fit that bill, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense. It seems like a difficult line to walk, to be honest. I don't think. Yeah, it's a tough.
Yeah, so basically, just saying like, just because he has more money doesn't mean he should spend all of it on charity. Like, if you have money too, I bet you wouldn't spend it all on charity. Like, let's be honest.
There was a nonprofit that alleged it was.
Oh, that's a good segue.
Yeah, it was alleged that it was not paid.
Yes.
And you eventually paid them 8 months later. What was the cause of the delay?
Yeah, 100%. And that you said alleged. I mean, so they weren't paid. Let me zoom out. Basically, we did a video where we helped 1,000 people see again. We off camera actually did 800 other surgeries. So we did 1,800 surgeries. I just only put 1,000 in the video. And for a lot of them, we worked through with the charity just to make sure things were, because they had a lot of experience with this. And then that charity worked with a lot of doctors on the ground and other little charities. And one of the charities that they worked with did a couple dozen surgeries. I don't know the exact number. I'm going to say around 30. And then the charity we were working with was supposed to release the funds to him afterwards to pay for it. There's a little bit of a misunderstanding. They didn't get it, so we ended up paying for like 970, and like I didn't know of this, but like that little misunderstanding never got taken care of. So then the charity that did the 30 surgeries made a video saying, "Hey, we didn't get paid." Somehow that never ended up on my radar for 8 months, which is honestly crazy. I don't know how no one sent that to me. We obviously had no knowledge of it. And then I saw it a couple weeks ago, and I was like, whoa, I instantly called the team we were working with.
Okay, so basically it's just saying that like he didn't even know anything about it, which is kind of crazy. Like with that many people on his team, nobody noticed it, and they just didn't get paid for that amount of time. Like imagine you did all that work, and you just gave somebody content, and then just didn't get paid at all for it.
It took Team C's 3 years to remove the equivalent of 10 hours worth of trash being dumped into the ocean every day. And a lot of people have criticized the campaign as being ineffective and that you should have been doing something else instead of Team C's.
Yeah.
Yeah, like how do you respond to that?
Yeah. So first off, because I get this a ton with Team C's. Like this isn't even like a new thing. Ever since we did it, people constantly bring this up. So I just also, to the people who allege that criticism, because obviously you're just trying to be the mouthpiece for the internet. I assume you don't believe this, and you can probably already guess what I'm going to say. But to the people who I see this every single day on Twitter and Reddit, first off, let's just contextualize what we're talking about. We're saying only 34 million pounds of trash was removed out of the ocean. We're talking like multiple Empire State Buildings worth of just trash, if you piled it up, is out of the ocean. And we're acting like that's not a crazy thing if you just look at it in absolute terms. Like 34 million, not 34,000 million pounds. You know how crazy that is? And there's a couple things I want to say on this, because I find it funny. It's like when I don't even know where I got this analogy from. When a firefighter, stops a building from burning down, you don't go, well, 100,000 buildings burned down today. You only stop one. What are you doing?
Yeah, fuck you.
Yeah, exactly. So A, that's I don't even know where that's a good analogy. That just popped in my head.
That's good.
B, what was I actually going to say? Oh, the whole point though of Team C's, which we've said this multiple times publicly, same thing with Mark Rober, was to inspire millions of people around the world to be more conscious of these things and to like just care and be more aware, right? Like over 1,000 creators made videos on Team C's talking about the environment. I made a video that I believe has 100 million views. Mark Rober, all these other big creators.
Yeah, so basically he's saying like 34 million pounds of trash is like insane amount, which I do agree that is a lot of trash. And he's just like inspiring more people to like don't dump your trash in the ocean, like more kids. And I respect that. Like don't dump your trash in the ocean.
Is the 100 Wells in Africa project.
Yeah.
In that video, part of the criticism for that video is that a few of the wells that you built were showed in different shots, or the same wells were showed in different shots.
Yeah.
That would imply to some people that you may not have built.
Hey guys! Today we're going to learn how to add this scrolling animation to your website in Wix.
Built all 100.
Yeah.
Did you build 100 wells in Africa?
Yes. So you already know what I'm going to say. I mean, I would loop this in with the same thing as the hospital thing. Seems like I need to have someone who like QCs things before we upload it more hardcore. I need someone who literally goes frame by frame. Like we finish a video and then they spend like 3 days just going frame by frame, making sure there's no mess ups. Yeah, I think like one or two of the wells we accidentally showed this like same well as different numbers. But once again, like I said with the blind thing, like, why would I spend 98% of the money and then just fake two wells, like, and destroy the entire integrity to save like 2%?
Yeah, I do definitely agree on this one. I'm not even trying to glaze right now, but like I do agree. Like, why would he spend that much money and just fake two? Like, it's clearly just an editing mistake. All right, so I'm just gonna edit off like right there because I know I didn't get to like everything what I was like said in the video, but like, I mean, it would have been like an hour-long video. If you do actually like want to like watch the rest, then you can go ahead and like go to the video. I'll put the link to the video in the description down below. I hope y'all enjoyed and subscribe.